Best time of the year, obviously, to have qualified and to be one of the 16 is a testament to our group from top to bottom. Coaching staff, really the whole organization should be proud of the regular season that we've had, and we get an opportunity, and that's what everybody hopes for, what you set out the start of the year you hope for, and again, it wasn't without some twists and turns and adversity along the way, and we're fortunate we have home ice, and we start, but everything's fresh. Both teams are at the same point.
What do you think you learned about this particular team after that 82-game regular season?
Well, I think we tested the depth of the organization in all positions. I think that we set out to have a strong tandem in net, and that was validated. So both goaltenders receive a lot of credit for that. I think we struggled to score goals early in the season, and we're maybe one line reliant for a period of time, and then our other guys really stepped up. We sort of found an identity with the bottom six of our group, and did a really nice job there. And really the resiliency, I think, of the group overall. And again, speak to the coaches because they're a big part of that, to sort of refocus and reshift the direction of the team at times when you're not maybe hitting on all cylinders, and then finding a way to win is important. I mean, it's a hell of a stretch we put together there, to go, certainly a number of games at home without being beaten, and you gain points in consecutive games says a lot for the group.
Tying back to goaltending for a second, the plan with Tuukka and the workload, how do you think that's going to help one during the season, and how do you think that's going to help success during the playoffs?
Well, we didn't have a predetermined number of games. We just felt we had a real good duo, and Butch has been consistent to play hot goaltender at particular times in certain games, and not worry about feelings. Because both goaltenders are capable and both have resumes that would allow them to take the ball, and I think they both did at critical times during the course of the year. Obviously, moving forward, we feel very good that both goaltenders are healthy and in a good position, and hopefully Rass feels really refreshed and ready to go because he starts Thursday night, and it's a long run.
David Krejci had matches his career high, which came a decade ago. Did you think he would be able to do that? And how is he able to do it, even with the right wing kind of still a revolving door?
I think David has an underlying MVP to our season, to be honest with you. Really a catalyst for our group this year. Might not have gotten the prime attention that several other players deserved and merited, but a very consistent year for David, start to finish. You see in the development of Jake DeBrusk and the year that he had, and David, a lot can be attributed to that. His numbers are not tilted towards power play. Ran the second unit, certainly stepped in when Patrice was out, went back on, and it's a lot of what David expects of himself. He was healthy this year. Took a lot of ownership individually and I think there's a recent article about it, working on his nutrition, working on his different training, and evolving as a player as you get older, and that's something you have to do. He was healthy this year. It's credit to our training staff and to him. He deserves a lot of credit for where we are as an organization, and he's generally played his best hockey in the playoffs, so that's exciting for our group as well.
Tony, you know Z is a great leader already, but is there something maybe this year and even going back last year that you've seen him sort of adapt in a leadership role even more so?
Instagram? Again, Z's a person that wants to continue to evolve. When you play for as long as he has, and you've seen the game change as much as it has during his tenure of play, he looks at that as a challenge. And that's a unique quality. There are certain other people that would look at that road or hill that you're staring at, and that's too hard to climb. And he looks at it completely the other way around. And there's a lot of mental toughness to that as well. I mean, we all talk about the physical attributes that Zdeno has, but I think the mental capabilities that Zdeno has, and it bleeds over into his leadership qualities. He's constantly on the bench reaffirming and the younger players how they have to do things, regardless of the mistakes, holding everybody to a high standard. And we're very fortunate.
So what do you think it will mean to the group to have Brandon healthy going into the playoffs first for him,
Well, we certainly missed Brandon, in 2 previous playoff years, and he took a deep breath that, he got through, maybe Butch sat him out maybe for a reason, and so he would be able to take a deep breath, but he's excited, talking to him yesterday. He doesn't have anything to compare it to, but he's excited about the opportunity, and I think our group knows that we missed, and obviously Torrey. I mean, in previous years, we've had guys leave the lineup, and it's been, it has an effect on the group, and I think that his enthusiasm, he's had a pretty consistent year overall, and I think that he'll be excited to play, and we'll benefit from that.
How do you beat Toronto?
Well, I think they're a difficult opponent. Clearly, they're an elite team, and we're going to have all facets of our game to the best, really at the top of our capabilities, and it's going to start with right from the drop of the puck and playing the right way. And I think our team knows what our identity is, and we're going to have to play to our strengths, and we're going to have to minimize the effect that they can. But they're a dangerous club, so we have to be very respectful of our opponent, and should be.
How do you feel about your team at this stage compared to how you felt about your team last year? I mean, this team maybe probably had a little more adversity than last year's team.
Some of the guys are a little more battle tested, but every year is so different. I know we're playing the same opponent in the first round, but they've made changes to their team. Our teams continue to evolve. Hopefully, we've got players that have gone through experiences that they can benefit from, and you just got to go out and put your best foot forward. It's up to every individual at this point in time to play their best hockey, because that's what it requires. You got to have some fortunate bounces, but you got to make your own luck, and you got to try and be as healthy as possible.
You mentioned depth. What's it say about coaching staff in Providence and how they've been able to prepare and develop these guys for when you needed it, especially right now?
Well, it says a lot. First and foremost, it's the consistency the organization has tried to put forth that we need to have the pipeline, and how you play down there will affect how you play up here at times. If you're ready to play, and Carson Kuhlman, doesn't matter. Name a player that's come up and played. We've had a lot of them, and yet they've gone on and they're in a decent position to make the playoffs. Is there a competitive group? The structure of their group mirrors what we try and do up here. There are tweaks and things that they have to blend their own nuances into in a game by game, but they do a really good job. It's a vital component to the success of the organization, not just in year to year, but overall. And we're fortunate to have a good staff down there to do that.
You didn't get a lot.
Sort of in that vein, I mean, as you have transitioned from sort of the core group that one is kind of 2011, you still have high-performing veterans from that core. How do you think you have, as an organization, started to make that transition that keeps them, looks forward toward eventually being over?
Well, several of those guys are going to hopefully continue to perform at a high level and be part of that core. I think they themselves have done a really good job of integrating the next wave of players. I mean, Pasternak's the obvious one. Torrey Krug's another one. The guys that fit the middle tier, and then you have several younger players that are continuing to learn on a day-to-day basis the habits and what it takes, what is required to win at this level. That is something that until you go through experience and really are very receptive to learning about it, it's a difficult thing to do. You can go years without having an opportunity, and you can't take it for granted. It's a difficult league. You get yourself in that position, don't pass up those opportunities to try and win. And it's a balancing act. When you are infusing and incorporating younger players, you have an element of what are you going to get? And our coaches go through that, at certain times and challenges. And I think, as I said, our core reinforces the principles that they believe in and that was required to win. And I think we have a close team as a result of that.
Is there hope, injury-wise, that Corrali and Moore will be available at some point during the series?
Yeah, they're back skating, and I think the only one, Kevin Miller, had some additional swelling. We had some further tests. He's not likely to start the series, but as far as Corrali and Moore, to answer your question, I do believe they'll integrate at some point in time in the series, yes.
You didn't get along with Johansson because of his injury. I'm just curious of your perspective now. You don't know a player until you get him. You did get a look
Well, I think the last couple games, Marcus has played his best hockey. It took him a little while coming back from a very significant hit. We were fortunate that it wasn't a significant injury. Not to downplay what the injury actually was, but I think now he's getting his legs under him. He's developed a little chemistry with Charlie Coyle, which is where he'll start. And the skill that he brings to the table, the experience he brings to the table, we're going to benefit from. And hopefully he plays his best hockey or continues to play even better as we go along, as he's gotten more and more comfortable.
How contagious do you think Pasta's personality is to his teammates? He just seems to always be having so much fun out there. Talked to him like a week ago, and he keeps saying, "I can't believe I'm playing in this league." He just seems to appreciate so much. How contagious is that?
Well, hopefully it's very contagious. I think that his personality on and off the ice is important for our organization. He's an elite player, but he brings a care and how he wants to improve as a player, the impact he wants to make off the ice. He's learning from some great people, and you're seeing the evolution of our younger players a little bit to what Henley was talking about. To take those mantles are important things from an organizational standpoint, and David's done a real nice job of that. Obviously he was disappointed. He missed a period of time. He's come back and elevated his game. He's excited about the opportunity to play in the playoffs and fortunate to get there. But his personality is unique, and it's a big benefit to the organization.
I'm not asking for exact lineup decisions here, but Carson Coleman is in the mix. He's sticking around this week.
Absolutely, yep.
And just what have you thought of the way he's clearly ahead of projection?
Well, you never know. As I said, you get young players, you just don't know necessarily. You can forecast all you want, but until they get in these situations and how they're going to perform, you don't know. He's performed well. He has a history of playing his best hockey at crucial times. He's got leadership qualities. I don't think he changes the way he plays, regardless of the situation, and that's a benefit to him as well. I think he knows what his strengths are, and he tries to play to those, which, again, coaches appreciate. When you have the ability to plug a player in, and he doesn't change regardless of the situation, I think that's a benefit for all parties, and I think that's what Carson's done. He's played in different roles and up and down the lineup, but he's handled himself really well, and he's earned the opportunity to be here and be in the mix.
If you go back to your team that won in 2011 and 8 years later, where the league has gone, the elements of that, if you will, heaviness in that lineup, still a critical part today, or you think it's the trend of the game is not there?
Well, I think you have to blend them. If you can't skate and play, you're having a tough time keeping up and impacting the game. Everybody knows the playoffs, get ratcheted up physicality-wise. The elements of intimidation and fighting, and there are pockets of those that still exist in the game, and I think a team toughness. I think we've maintained that, and that's an important quality to have. As an organization, I think it's something we adhere to. To defending the guy to your left and your right is a very important quality. And to be able to back that up and to play in those tough situations, that's what winning requires at this time of the year. So I think it'll always be an element in our game. But the skill and the speed has certainly, the league has evolved an awful lot since that period of time.
I think a portion of your lineup's going to have an awakening in that sense, kids that haven't experienced it.
No, I think our kids are ready for that. I think most of them have experienced it, and they'll be perfectly ready for it. Maybe a couple of years ago we had several that hadn't gone through it, and it was an awakening. But I think last year was a good example of what it requires, and hopefully we're ready for the next step.
Okay, two more for Arthur. You mentioned how every season's different, but the fact that you're facing the same team again, what kind of different issues does that bring up, and do you think that it favors one team or another?
No, I don't think it favors. I think there's been certainly changes to each team and additions and subtractions. The familiarity of the styles of play, but it's going to come down to the performance. It's going to come down to the individual collective performances of the 20 guys that are lining up. That's, there's no easy matchups. It's just is what it is that we ended up with the same opponent in the first round. And it's going to take your best in order to get past them.